right, welcome to the party. Let's make some noise and show our love to the StepZen team. I want to see if you guys have already formed a team and possibly even have a team name. If you have a team name, drop your team name. If you don't have a team name, drop your teammates' names. If you don't have a team yet, please go find a team in the Find a Team channel inside our Discord. And if you're gonna be hacking solo, then more power to you. And still let us know who you are, because that's pretty phenomenal in itself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Navi. I'm one of the co-founders here at Mintbean, and I often do these orientation sessions. I try not to butcher these sessions as much as I can, but hey, I'm human, so bear with me. I'll try to make this experience as least painless as I can. Awesome. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our origin stories, why Mintbean. For those of you that might already be familiar with this a little bit, you know that Monarch and I started this community as a reflection of our own personal experiences in this industry. I'm a bootcamp grad. I graduated GA about 4 years ago and quickly learned that it wasn't enough to break into this industry. I got rejected many, many times inside the technical interview and felt that I wasn't ready and maybe software development wasn't for me. If I didn't have the support that I had at home, and I probably wouldn't have been in this industry. So I completely understand how difficult it is to break into this industry. Monarch, as many of you guys know, is self-taught and has had his own path into this industry. So we wanted to create a community that makes it easy to build the practice of coding and not to focus too heavily on video tutorials. As you know, we bring a new prompt every single week. To show our support, this is a completely free community, guys. To show our support, we do ask that you share our amazing learnathons with your friends and other developers inside your community. So that's the only plug that I'll do today, I promise. All right. So as promised, we said that we'd bring the experts from GraphQL. I want you guys to meet the StepZen team. So these four are going to be available in your coffee and code hours. It's going to be a pretty phenomenal experience. Samuel Hill, who is one of the engineers, guys, if you don't mind just opening up your mics and just dropping a quick hello. Anthony, Lucia, Brian.
Hey.
Hello. Hi, everybody. So excited to meet all of you.
Awesome.
It's going to be a great one.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys so much for teaching the community GraphQL today. We are indebted to you. Everybody, give it up, a round of applause. Open up your mics and just clap for the StepZen team. Come on, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
So along with GraphQL, we're also going to be discovering StepZen, which makes it super easy to build GraphQL APIs that your data gets your data from REST, GraphQL databases, and any backend. All right, so I'm going to quickly go over the Learnathon guide. There's 3 pillars. All this information already lives inside our guidebook. How to get help, how to submit your projects, as well as how to plan your projects. So I'm going to quickly go to these 3 links. Please feel free to check these out later. I'm not going to go over them with too much detail. So I'm just going to open these sections up, how to submit, as well as how to plan your projects. So the how to plan your projects, actually, there's 2 different support sections for this. We've taken some feedback from some of our past Learnathon attendees, and there's a whole ticket inside today's Kanban that talks about planning your project, not just in the guidebook. So definitely take a look at that, explore, and of course, delegate. So there's a lot of context here in helping you understand on how to break it down. In terms of how to submit, the deadline is next Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. and 9 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Central. There are 3 places that you do have to submit your project. The first place is on the platform itself. The second place is LinkedIn. This is a mandatory submission process. The reason we talk about LinkedIn as such an important key step in our process is a lot of you are trying to break into the industry and connect to that first employer. LinkedIn is a breeding ground for recruiters. It's essential that you talk about your work. Projects cannot live in silos alone. So a blurb about the challenge, what technologies you use to build it, what you learned from building the project, include project links. We definitely recommend that you use the Mintbean link, tag Mintbean, tag StepZen, use relevant hashtags, the technologies that you used. Twitter is also an awesome place to share. I completely agree, Lucia. Twitter is a breeding ground for developers. And I think that Twitter is, I'm not sure if Twitter has taken over the LinkedIn social media in terms of like how engaging it is with developers, but yeah, I'm aggressively on Twitter. Okay, all right, well, both platforms are pretty head to head. The one thing that we do recommend is using a 1 to 3 minute video demoing your project with audio explanation. And what that does is it really helps put context into your project. Monarch Jen, if you can get the Soko Wars project posted on the chat. I always talk about this project because this team did such a phenomenal job at explaining this project. It's under a minute and it just does it so well. And of course, lastly, post on Discord. You get to use the network effect of our community and really leverage our community to go into your LinkedIn, to go into your Twitter and share and retweet and like your work. And then lastly, I think there was one section, which is the Coffee and Code Mentor. So this is going to be a special one this week. The StepZen team is heavily involved on the 3 Coffee and Code sessions this week. And they're gonna start this week on Friday at 4. And this session is really going to be used in how to plan your projects. So I highly recommend to utilize their time and their expertise on getting started with GraphQL. And of course, we have a slot for Monday in the evening for those of you that are working. We try to really modify and play with these hours, and Wednesday at 12. So remember those times. And of course, all this stuff exists inside of the resource section in your on the Mintbean platform. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And up next is Anthony, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about StepZen.
Hello. I'm on?
Hello, hello.
All right. What is up, everyone? My name is Anthony. And yeah, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, how I know all of these people here. I've actually known Monarch and Navi for quite a while now. I was also a bootcamp student, like probably many of you were or maybe still are. And I was going to Lambda school and got very involved with this project called Redwood.js, which is a pretty cool and exciting open source project that uses a whole lot of tech. It uses like React and Prisma, and the kind of layer that stitched it all together was GraphQL. And some of you may know Claire Freilich as well. She is also on the Redwood.js core team and works for Mintbean, which is pretty cool. And I got very into just kind of like what GraphQL is, which I'm really excited for all of you because you'll get a chance to experience kind of the uniqueness and the power of GraphQL. And as I was learning more about it and getting deeper into Redwood.js, I was also out trying to, get a job out in the world. And I was contacted by Anant, who's our CEO, and he was interested in getting me on board just because of like the work he saw me doing with Redwood. And so one thing I just kind of want to stress to everyone out there is that open source is like a really, really amazing thing. And part of what is so cool about what Mintbean does is that they do a really good job of getting people who are working on open source like out in front of people such as yourself who are still learning and still trying to like wrap their mind around like what all of this stuff is. And like the benefits that come from open source and getting involved in open source is like there's so many and it's so long. But the biggest one really is just getting to like spend time actually working on code with like actual professional programmers. And that's why like this whole thing that they've got set up is, I think, really, really amazing, because it gives us a chance to really get down in the code with you guys and help you build out these projects. And hopefully you'll get a chance to learn a little bit about StepZen as well. It's a really cool tool that allows you to basically like create your whole GraphQL API with almost no work whatsoever. And so you'll be learning a little bit about how all that works as we go on. But the main thing that I just want to like really emphasize is that we are all here for you. Everyone on the team is really passionate about what we're doing and what we're working on, and helping enable developers to really thrive with this technology. And it's it's a team thing. Like it's really hard to do this kind of stuff by yourself, and I really struggled to do all of this stuff when I was just working by myself. So just please like reach out in the Discord or message myself or anyone on the team. We really want to hear from you. We really want to know what you're working on. And it's very much a safe space for everyone here, because at a certain point none of us knew any of this stuff. Like not quite long ago, like I'd never even heard of GraphQL. So always keep that in mind, that no matter where you're coming from, we were all there at some point, and we might not be like really much further ahead of you than you may think. You may think we're a lot further ahead than we actually are. So yeah, we're happy to be here, and thank you so much to Monarch and Navia for putting this all together, and thank you for the team for organizing this. And yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy yourselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony. That was a lot of kind words, man. Like, you're awesome. Seriously. Like, I think it's been almost a year since we met. I always lose track of time, but the work that you've been doing inside of Redwood has spoken for itself. And the contribution that you've made to open source has led to opportunities like StepZen for you. So this is again, guys, the stuff that Anthony is talking about is speaking from experience. So really appreciate you sharing that with the audience. Up next, I do want to, we have a special keynote speaker from App Academy. Adam, are you here?
Hi.
Hey. Awesome. So I wanted to give everyone a little context. App Academy has been a special partner with Mintbean on so many events. We did a really interesting hackathon back in November, which was Social Hack Week, and that got a lot of traction, and there were a lot of interesting projects. App Academy is a phenomenal partner, and Adam is one of their technical career coaches, and he's just going to be sharing some words.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much, Navi. So yeah, I just introduced myself real quick. I am Adam. Like Navi said, I'm a technical career coach. So essentially, I work with graduates of App Academy from when they graduate to when they sign their offers at their first software engineering jobs. And just to explain a little bit more about what App Academy is, it's a full stack web development bootcamp that runs 16 weeks or 24 weeks, depending on what program you're in. And I think something that we really focus on, at least I've gotten the perspective of as a career coach, is basically our students, and then eventually our job seeker success, both in gaining their first software engineering jobs, but also in maintaining the sort of spirit of constantly learning, learning new technologies, working on new projects. Yeah, so thanks so much to Navi, like Mintbean has been a great partner of ours. We've worked with Mintbean for several hackathons, and they're always super lovely. And yeah, thanks so much. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual, Adam. As you can see in the chat, I've spoken to so many AA grads and they're all phenomenal. And it's a testament to how much you guys put in the outcomes team, like you, Leanne, Paloma, and everyone. There's a lot of work that goes in making sure that there is success at the end of the program. So kudos to you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's get started, guys. Monarch, you're up next. Let's do the challenge walkthrough. Let's get this show on the road.
All right. Okay, cool. Everybody, thanks for coming. And I just want to start by, again, thanking StepZen because, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to be walking through the Kanban. I'm going to be walking through the challenge just now, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of an overview of what the challenge entails. But honestly, the real learning over here is not on the challenge. We don't have any video tutorials here. We believe in learning by doing. And the best way to learn by doing is by learning by doing it with the experts. And a little bit about StepZen. StepZen, the whole team is really solid. I've had the pleasure of working with them for the past several days, several weeks now. And the one thing that strikes me about their team is that they really, really, really know what they're doing. And they've basically they've bet the entire company on GraphQL, because GraphQL is, in my opinion as well, going to change the world. And they're building a layer on top of GraphQL that lets you connect with all sorts of APIs and databases super, super quickly. Now you can imagine that's kind of like, it's kind of like the NASCAR or the Formula One of software development, is to build dev tools for other developers. And you're going to be learning GraphQL from people who build dev tools for developers. So just to put that in complete scope for you guys, massive opportunity. And they have very graciously agreed to open up their schedules for us. If you look over, let me share my screen, and I'll show you guys how to take full advantage of this whole week that's coming up. Here's the event that I registered for. If you don't see this page, if you haven't been on this page, go to this page, and on the right hand side there's an attending box. Click the attending. It should be register. If you aren't registered yet, just click it. It'll take you to the share ticket. And the share ticket, if you're looking for teammates, you can either go to find a friend, but if you're looking for teammates, tell your friends about the hackathon. It's not too late for them to enter. You can convince your friends over the next couple of days and have them enter the hackathon and work with them. We don't stop people from entering a team until you submit. So you can have people entering your team all the way up until Friday. So if you don't feel like working with strangers, if you have a couple of friends who might even be more experienced developers who have some time to come in and work with you, make sure you do that. And you can tell your friends on LinkedIn, Twitter, email, Reddit, Facebook, just by pressing these buttons over here. Your name will show up on the social share ticket, mine does, and then you can share that and maybe tag a few friends who you'd like to work with on GraphQL. That would be one of the best ways to take advantage of this next week. After that, you'd go over down into the Kanban board. And I'll be going over this first, but I'm going to again and again de-emphasize the Kanban and the challenge, and I'm going to emphasize the hands-on one-on-one mentorship that everybody is going to be getting. So I'm going to go over to our schedule and go over, before I go over the Kanban, I'm going to go over our schedule and tell you guys exactly how to take advantage of this massive opportunity that you guys are getting for free today. Thanks to StepZen. So after orientation and walkthrough, there's going to be an introduction to GraphQL workshop. And this is a super, super popular event. Half of the people over here have already signed up for it. There are 110 people who signed up for the GraphQL workshop. And this is being delivered by Lucia and Anthony, who just spoke with us a few minutes ago. And it's going to be a full introduction to GraphQL. We're not going to be throwing you into the deep end by yourselves. This workshop will equip you to start working with GraphQL, and it'll give you a very gentle introduction to GraphQL. I know that's what a lot of you guys are here for. Software developers are known for problem solving and self-learning, and we tend to look at learning as just another problem that we solve on a day-to-day basis while we're doing our jobs. So you're going to go away from this workshop with the tools you need to self-learn. And after you walk away from that workshop with those tools, there are also coffee and code hours with the StepZen team. They've super graciously opened up their schedules to mentor you in one-on-one and group settings. Honestly, take advantage of it. The coffee and code hours, they're not just for technical debugging, they're also there for mentorship and getting career guidance and just, you know, shooting the shit with the team. They are on Friday at 4 o'clock. So there's one today, there's one on Monday. These are Eastern times. There's one on Monday, and there's another one on Wednesday. And they're all really excited for the chance to mentor you guys. So make sure you take advantage of that. That all happens on Discord, and we don't send out any email invites, any email reminders for this. Just show up to coffee and code hours on Discord, and you'll be able to get one-on-one mentorship from potentially one-on-one mentorship from the StepZen team. We have a couple of other events as well, also sponsored by StepZen. So these are open source for professional development and serverless, a superpower for front-end developers. And we also have an in-demand skills for front-end developers panel. This one's getting really hot too. This one, we're going to be talking about what the in-demand skills are for front-end developers, JavaScript developers. It's a panel discussion, and I'm going to be moderating the panel. And we have a lineup of guest speakers. We haven't announced them yet, but we have a really awesome lineup of guest speakers for this workshop. And as always, questions will be taken, answers will be given, so make sure you sign up for this. Coming back to the Kanban, which honestly is probably the least important part of the entire hackathon is the Kanban, but it is also the part that will give you all of the links you need, all of the resources you need to help you get started. There are tons of tickets in here. There's a hello from the StepZen team. There's a reminder to join the GraphQL workshop. And there's an overview of the challenge. I'm going to hop right over into overview of the challenge. And here's the big picture overview, and then we can go into the other tickets to kind of look this over and go into details. But the big picture is we're going to be using StepZen to help us learn GraphQL in a very easy way. StepZen is a super easy way to connect to multiple different data sources, and it's a mandatory technology for this hackathon. If you want to win the $50 Amazon gift card for every single player who wins the hackathon, then make sure you use StepZen, because we're going to be disqualifying anybody who doesn't use StepZen. The second reason you want to use StepZen, other than that, is that it makes it simple. GraphQL can be a beast, and it can be super intimidating. The StepZen API does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, and it gives you a lot of things out of the box. I'm not going to take away from Brian's thunder, but Brian's going to explain a lot more about GraphQL very soon. Sorry, about StepZen very soon, and how it fits into your learning curve and how it can help your learning curve. It's okay if you don't finish, as always. If there's anything that prevents you from finishing, don't worry about it. This is still a learn hackathon. This is still a learnathon. And we don't really like the whole super competitive, oh, I got to learn everything today kind of vibe. We understand that everybody has their own learning curves, and everybody has their own pace at which they learn. So if you feel like not finishing, it's a safe space not to finish. You can always come back and submit the project after the hackathon is over and get feedback from the community on it. So it's a super safe place for beginners. I know a lot of excitement and a lot of energy is circulating around the hackathon, and it's easy to get swept away and get intimidated by it. There's no such thing as a bad question. Ask questions on Code Mentor Hours, ask questions in the Discord, and it's a totally safe place for new developers to start learning cutting edge tech like GraphQL. Next up, so there's step one, which is discovering StepZen, and there's tons of useful resources here. I'd suggest you start by looking at StepZen and figuring out what it can do and what kind of data it can hand to you. You can, for example, one of the things that you can do is you can connect to GitHub, and you can get a lot of data from GitHub right away. You can connect with more advanced connections, include Shopify and Airtable as well. So there's a lot going on with StepZen that you guys are going to absolutely love. And if there and there are sample projects over here. There are videos and Hello World tutorials as well. So make sure you check it out. That's step one. Step two gives you the snippets of code you need to actually start with StepZen. So after you sign up, install the CLI and do npx create StepZen app in a folder. For React, for Gatsby, there are other npx commands. For Next, there are other npx commands. So whatever, pick your poison, whatever way you like building your projects, StepZen has you covered with the most popular tech over here. They're building a super useful CLI ecosystem as well for StepZen. So definitely check this out. Step three is, once you've installed StepZen and once you understand what StepZen can do, at that point, you're going to be ready to actually come up with ideas. Don't come up with ideas before. Don't put some preconceived notions in your head at the get-go, because this is a very open-ended hackathon. It is very structured and it's tech-centric, which means you really want to understand what the technology can do. In the workplace, you call this evaluating a technology or discovering a technology, or sometimes you call this a spike if you're using Agile. And if you wanna really build something cool, hold off on making ideas until you've explored StepZen a little bit, maybe for half a day or a day. And once you are ready to brainstorm, the StepZen team is ready in the Steppers channel to help you out. So make sure that you reach out to them if you have any questions about what kind of app is even possible. Coffee and Code Hour is great. Coding questions is a great channel to be in Discord, and asking in the Steppers channel is also a great way to get in touch with the StepZen team. And step four is how to plan your project. A few tips here and there. Just explore the StepZen documentation and getting started first, and then hand off the work to various different teammates. If you do not have a teammate, it's okay, and I commend you for your courage. And I think I think the best way to learn is by yourself, but the best way to keep motivated is in a team. So if you feel that you need a teammate, make sure you find a teammate so that you can delegate these tasks. You can do all of this in the Discord channel for Find a Team. Last but definitely not least, for me, this is the most important section in the entire Kanban, which is your homepage. This is your opportunity to build and to explain what your project is all about, regardless of whether you have a portfolio or a resume or a great GitHub. Regardless of that, your live deployed website should have a landing page, a homepage that has a few key sections that help you out when it comes to impressing a recruiter and finding a job. One of the things that is for people, I'm seeing comments inside chat. Shannon feels like she's too slow to be on a team, and MSAT feels like he's too slow, and Kieran feels like he's too slow. Guys, no such thing as too slow. At the very least, you can help out by building the homepage. And the homepage can be a simple one-pager that has an above the fold, an explainer, some diagrams, and a team section. And it's a one-person job. Even if you're slow, you can build one single page in a week for sure. So don't be afraid of getting into a team just because you feel like you're too slow. I guarantee you will find yourself being useful in a team and learning from the other people on your team. People love to build, but they also love to teach. And if you're new, you can get mentorship from some people who are ahead of you. So there's a massive opportunity in team play to learn from other people. Developers, I know that we have the stereotype of the geeky developer who's coding in a basement somewhere and doesn't talk to anyone. I have never worked with a developer who did not talk with their teammates ever. And either that or I never heard from them because they never talked to me. But I don't think I've worked with anybody who doesn't talk to their teammates. And you probably heard of this. The soft skills is super important to build. So you're not building the project, you're not writing code in your text editor, you're writing the code that's in your head. You're building your skill set, get into a team, and even if you just build a homepage for them, that's a massive contribution. And that's something that you can do with just CSS and HTML. I think that's all I got. I hope you guys have a massive, massive, massive learning opportunity and learn a lot about GraphQL and StepZen this hackathon. I'm really, really excited because, hey, we're getting experts in to teach you guys for free. This is so much better than a video tutorial, and I'm so excited about seeing your projects and seeing what you guys do with GraphQL. And over to you, Navi.